Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. This is the 36th video in the Learning and Evolving from Past Practitioner series, a video series that aims to introduce important historical figures in the internal style of martial arts and Shoudao practice. Last week, I posted a video introducing Tian Hui, the 9th generation master of the Tian-family Yin-Yang Baguazhang. Additionally, I received some good questions. Therefore, this week's video will be a follow-up to last week's episode. More importantly, I would like to take this opportunity to talk about a key question regarding the criteria for the recognition of a style. By the way, if you have not watched last week's video, I highly recommend watching that video first. The link is in the description. To start off, let me first introduce a concept of how to recognize a style. The conditions under which martial art styles come into being have never had any fixed standards, from ancient times to the present. This is also why, over the past century, very few entirely new styles have emerged, and why people have instead focused on deepening and refining existing systems. For example, Xingyi is divided into the Hebei school and the Shanxi school. These two names of styles, in fact, only came into existence less than 200 years ago. Likewise, distinctions such as Chen style and Yang style Tai Chi were formed based on the same underlying logic. At the same time, as practitioners conduct increasingly detailed technical development and refinement within established styles, differences in technical system inevitably gave rise to variations in the practice of a style. This, in return, leads to the emergence of more specific branch lineages or sub-branches of styles. For instance, the Chen style Tai Chi transmitted by Chen Fake developed into more finely differentiated frames, such as the Chen Zhaokui frame, the Hong Yunsheng frame, and the Feng Zhiqiang frame, just to name a few, due to differences in the practice styles of his disciples. Similarly, within Hebei Xingyi, branches named after major transmitters have appeared, such as the Li Chunyi lineage, the Xue Dian lineage, and the Shan Yunxiang lineage. All of these are result of further refinement within a major style, the Hebei style. This phenomenon of renaming and subdividing practice method is actually something that has only appeared in recent decades. In other words, while the martial content itself may have existed long ago, the systematic study and the renaming of these branches is a very recent development, and most of these more detailed designations of sub-branches do not even have a history of 100 years. The emergence of these more detailed branch lineages is by no means a negative development. On the contrary, it is a clear sign that a style's technical system is becoming increasingly mature and represents the inevitable result of individualized technical development. However, when it comes to the formation and recognition of a martial art style, there is still a lack of clear standards. For example, some people make minor modifications to an existing system and then claim to have created a new style. Such practices are fundamentally unlikely to gain recognition. The formation of a style requires martial theory, technical method, both of the hand and weapon systems, and most importantly, recognition by contemporaries of the founder, among many other conditions. I have discussed this topic many times in previous Q&A videos. Interested audience can search for them on my channel. What I have discussed above concerns the creation of new styles. Now, let us consider another situation. If one day someone demonstrates a style that has been transmitted for many generations, but only within a small limited circle, can such a style be accepted? This brings us to the issue of martial arts historical verification. My criteria to evaluate this issue are based on, first, the style must have a specific creator, who cannot be a fabricated or mythological figure. Second, the style must have a relatively clear line of transmission. Third, the technical content itself must form a coherent system. Even if it is based on multiple sources, it must possess distinctive features of its own. Only when these three elements are basically present can the style gain acceptance. If only one of these elements is missing, acceptance becomes very difficult. Also, we have to keep in mind that sometimes evidence can be controversial due to the nature of this matter. It can still not be used as conclusive evidence to deny a style. This has been the method I have consistently used over many years, a method I arrived at through personal experience. That concludes the theoretical discussion. Next, I would like to introduce some events surrounding Yin-Yang Baguazhang as they unfolded in Beijing. The core of that information is based on first-hand experiences personally informed by Keyan and thus constitutes primary source material. When Tian Hui actively promoted this style in Beijing, the issue of recognition by the local Bagua community inevitably arose. Among Beijing's many martial arts organizations was the Beijing Baguazhang Hui, or Bagua Research Association of Beijing, a semi-official, semi-non-governmental organization. An organization model shaped by China's unique social and political environment, quite different from the purely grassroots model found in the West. The Bagua transmitted in Beijing had always been passed down from Dong Haichuan. Since Dong Haichuan, the lineage has been very clear. After all, its history spans less than 200 years. Kang Ge-wu, China's first professionally trained martial arts master's degree holder, argued in his thesis, 八卦掌源流之研究, or a study of the origins and the development of Bagua, that Dong Haichuan was the founder of Bagua. His research conclusions were accepted by the Beijing Bagua community, as the Bagua practice in Beijing had indeed always been the one transmitted by Dong Haichuan, which aligned with the prevailing understanding at the time. Consequently, when Tian Hui taught the Tian-family Yin-Yang Baguazhang in Beijing, it inevitably arose the dissatisfaction within the local Bagua community. Many people adopted the slogan, "If you do not recognize Dong Haichuan as the 祖师 or patriarch of Bagua, then your practice must be fake." This seemingly reasonable claim essentially means Dong Haichuan is the founder of Bagua, and any practice not from his lineage does not exist. A very passionate claim, but may not be that logical. Let's keep going. The Bagua system transmitted by the Tian family had identifiable founders, two Taoist priests, Biyun and Jingyun from the late Ming and early Qing period. It also possessed a concrete training system that was rich in content and distinctive in style. All of this can still be verified today through the Bagua routines demonstrated by Tian Keyan. In addition, Tian Hui and Tian Keyan both possessed clear lineage information. As a result, it was difficult to refute the existence of the Bagua lineage that ran parallel to the one attributed to Dong Haichuan. Some individuals, therefore, turned their attention to re-examine these three aspects. It should be noted that Dong Haichuan himself claimed his teacher was the Taoist named Bi Chengxia from Jiuhuashan or Jiuhua Mountain, while the founders of Yin-Yang Baguazhang were two Taoists who predated Dong Haichuan. These figures could all potentially be legendary. If the records of the founders of Yin-Yang Baguazhang were questionable, Dong Haichuan's own lineage would also be questionable. As for the training system, Yin-Yang Baguazhang's methods are comprehensive and well-developed, leaving little room to deny their legitimacy. Yet, this fact did not deter certain creative individuals. For example, Xie Peiqi of Beijing claims that Tian Hui learned Baguazhang from Xie's senior disciple Shi Junjie, meaning that Shi Junjie was Tian Hui's teacher and that Tian Hui did not learn from his own father. By the way, let's watch a small demonstration of Xie Peiqi before going further. Tian Keyan was thoroughly familiar with his father's training and teaching history. In particular, he knew that although Shi Junjie had once been Xie Peiqi's student, he later studied Bagua under Tian Hui for a period of 20 years. In other words, Xie Peiqi's claim regarding the source of Tian Hui's martial arts was fabricated. Even more interestingly, although Shi Junjie himself had passed away, his family members were well aware of his learning experience. As a result, Tian Keyan filed a lawsuit against those who made this claim, including Xie Peiqi. During the proceedings, Tian Keyan produced testimony from Shi Junjie's wife and children, providing that Tian Hui was Shi Junjie's teacher, not the reverse as Xie Peiqi had claimed. By the way, I have the video shared by Tian Keyan. Ultimately, the court did not recognize Xie Peiqi's statement. This case clearly shows that in order to deny Tian-family Bagua its due independent recognition, a false narrative was fabricated to confuse the public, something well worth reflecting upon. According to Tian Keyan's statement, later, some individuals from the Beijing Bagua community even traveled to Tian Hui's former residence in Tianjin and other locations in an attempt to prove that his ancestors had never practiced Bagua. This led to an incident in which local villagers jointly reported Kang Gewu, Zhao Dayuan, Di Guoyong, and others for using investigation as the pretext to defame the party involved. Many such incidents occurred. These disharmonious voices, spanning several decades, still persist in limited circles today, so I will not elaborate further. Again, it's just like I mentioned in last week's video that a good intention, when carried out by the wrong means, cannot yield a good result. From this brief overview of the Yin-Yang Baguazhang case, we can see how some individuals, in the name of preserving the purity of Bagua transmission, disregarded factual evidence. As for whether Dong Haichuan was the founder of Bagua, I believe it is very difficult to reach a definitive conclusion. Currently, there are three major branches of Bagua practice in China. The most widespread is the Bagua transmitted by Dong Haichuan. However, there are also Yin-Yang Ba Panzhang and Yin-Yang Baguazhang. The later two both have clear transmission records and lineage histories, and their training systems differ significantly from that of Dong Haichuan's Bagua. Under such circumstances, how can one still cling so rigidly to the doctrine that Dong Haichuan is the founder of Bagua? Kang Gewu's research on this issue was conducted decades ago. With the emergence of new evidence, it's time to revisit and update that conclusion. Finally, let me add that my own primary practice is the system transmitted by Dong Haichuan, although I also practice Yin-Yang Ba Panzhang. I do not practice Tian-family Yin-Yang Baguazhang at all. More importantly, although I began my martial arts training in Tianjin, China, I lived in the West. For many years, I have firmly believed that Dong Haichuan was the principal transmitter of his own system and naturally the founder of the Bagua he propagated. Recognizing Dong Haichuan as the founder of his own system does not negate the existence of other Bagua systems. To deny facts in the face of evidence is itself a mistake. Lastly, let us enjoy a segment of Keyan's demonstration of Yin-Yang Baguazhang. So that was all for today. I hope this follow-up video will clarify some misunderstandings, help practitioners understand Tian Hui and his practice better. That brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you all found today's topic interesting and informative. Please post any further questions about Tian Hui, his practice, and his lineage in the comment section. I will answer them for you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. See you next time and enjoy your practice.